Hey Jack, what are we going to draw today?
A winter landscape.
Yeah, we hope you're going to follow along with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. You need your drawing supplies. We're going to use a marker. You also need
Some paper and something to color with.
Yeah, we're going to use markers, but we're also using a white acrylic paint and paintbrushes. You don't have to do this step at the very end if you just want to color it. But we're going to show you a really cool trick with the paint to make it look like it's snowing. You ready to start?
Yes.
We're first going to use our markers and we're going to draw our landscape. So let's first draw a moon up here. We're going to draw a big circle, a really big circle. And I'm drawing it a little to the right side of the paper, not right in the middle. Good. Now let's draw our first tree. I'm going to draw it right next to the moon, and we're going to draw a evergreen or a Christmas tree, a pine tree. So I drew an upside down V. Then we're going to draw a little zigzag line at the bottom to connect each side. Then we can draw another layer to our pine tree. We can draw two more diagonal lines coming out. And then let's draw a zigzag line that comes over to the other side. Let's add one more layer to our Christmas, I like calling them Christmas trees. Even though this one's out in nature, so this one's just a pine tree. We just repeated those same steps all the way down. You could even add another layer if you wanted to make it taller. But let's add the trunk. We're going to add two lines right next to each other coming out of the center. And then we can draw the snow right here connecting the bottom. We drew this tree first because it's the closest one to us and it's in front of everything else. Now let's draw the rest of our landscape, and we're going to use 3D or overlapping to make it look even cooler. So I'm going to draw another snowy hill back here in the background. We connect to the tree, but we're going to imagine it going behind this tree and coming down. Maybe it slopes down and then comes over here. Cool. Let's draw another tree coming out of the ground over here. So we're going to draw this one a little smaller because it's further away. So it's not going to be as tall. And then we can connect the bottom with the zigzag. We're just repeating the same steps. So this part we could go a little faster. I like repeating the same steps because we get to practice.
Yeah.
And this one I'm going to go a little further down so I can reach the snow so I don't have this really long trunk. Then we're going to add those two lines for the bottom of our trunk. Now let's draw another hill going the other direction. I'm going to start here, maybe connect to the tree, and then we're going to come over here, connect to this tree. We'll imagine it going behind and then coming up over here and ending on the edge of our paper. Let's add a few more trees. This one I'm going to draw here. Now, even though it's about the same height up here, we're going to draw it smaller, and it's going to connect to this hill right here at the bottom. I'm going a lot faster on this one. If you guys need extra time, what can our friends do?
Pause it.
Yeah, you can pause the video. You could also use that time to add even more trees. I think I'm going to add one more tree way back here in the distance, right under the moon. So I'm going to add, maybe this one just comes out and has two layers. And you could also make the trunk a little smaller too. I got to add more. There's not enough Christmas trees. Pine trees.
Pine trees.
There's not enough pine trees in our landscape. Now you could add even more details to your drawing. You could add a cabin, maybe with some smoke coming out of the chimney. You could add little animals. What else could our friends add to this drawing?
You can draw Santa in the sky, like on his sleigh.
Yeah,
The reindeer.
with the reindeer. That would be really cool. But let's leave it just like this and switch to our coloring markers. We've picked out two blues and two greens. A dark blue and a light blue, a dark green and a light green. That's going to keep this lesson nice and simple,
Yeah.
but it's still going to look really cool. Let's first start with our light blue, and we're going to put a little highlight around our moon. We're going to leave the moon white, but we're going to put a ring around our moon, and it can be a messy highlight too. It can just go around. It's kind of like the moon is shining, kind of like the sun. It gives off light, well, reflective light, right?
Yes.
From the sun is reflecting off the moon and then That's what makes it so bright. So we can kind of go around it like this. That makes it look really cool. Then we're going to add dark blue around this. Now let's use this same blue, and we're going to add a little shading on the snow. Because the moonlight has a blue texture tint to it, we also have that same blue tint on the snow. Now we're ready to switch to our dark blue, and we're gonna color in the sky. This is a really dark blue. So this part we are gonna fast forward. It's gonna take us a little while to go all the way around. We're using white paint to add snowflakes on our drawing after we do this part. But you could also add snowflakes during this step. You could draw little snowflakes like this, and then you don't have to use the paint if you don't want to. But we're gonna color it in and add the snowflakes after. This dark blue is a lot darker than I thought it was going to be. So we're using a medium blue to blend in between the light blue and the dark blue. This is just to make it look more like the shine around the moon is gradual, not as bright. That looks so much better. Look how it looks more like it blends into the sky and it's just shining. Now you can go over the dark blue, and that will pick up on the marker, and you can bring it back in and help blend it in to make it look more smooth and gradual. And I love that our two drawings look a little different. They both are turning out awesome. The most important thing is
To have fun.
and to
Practice.
practice. All right, let's keep going. Now we're gonna switch to our green. Let's first do our light green. We're gonna put this out here on the trees that are far away. Just add a little green under each of the layers. This makes it look like there's snow on top of the trees. You know what, I totally forgot. We didn't get a brown for the trunk.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna add this green over here too. Add green on this one and another layer underneath. That looks really cool. That looks like snow.
Yeah, it does.
Next, let's switch to our dark green, and we're gonna draw on color in the trees that are closer to us, and also leave in that little bit where the snow has landed on the tree and is still there, stuck on the tree. We're gonna add on each of the layers. You can even do a little spot. Maybe there's a little piece of tree that sticks through there. And we're gonna do the same thing at the bottom of the tree, all the way across. Let's use our blue marker again, and this is the same one we used for the snow. We're gonna add a little shadow, a blue shadow at the bottom of the snow that's on the tree. This makes it look a little more 3D and also more like snow.
Yeah.
You can also add a shadow underneath the branches or the layer of the pine tree. So right here underneath the zigzag, you could add another little blue line for the shadow on the snow. Now let's switch to our brown marker. We're gonna color in the tree trunk for each of our trees. We did it, Jack. It looks really cool, all colored in. Now the last thing we need to do is add our snowflakes. We're gonna do that with our white acrylic. So let's pour this we have a little tray right here. We'll get a little bit of paint in there and we'll paint the snowflakes on our drawing.
Cool.
We really don't need that much. We just have a little drop of paint, a dollop of paint. We're gonna get it on our paintbrush. The reason why we're using acrylic is when we paint over the marker, we just leave a little dot. Look at that. It looks like Snowflake.
Yeah.
We have never done one of these. I think it looks so cool. Well, I think in the past we've done a few fall trees where we painted the leaves, but this looks really cool with little white snowflakes falling from the sky. So you can do, when you do this, you can make some of the snowflakes really big. You can make some of them small, not too big, right?
Yeah.
But some of them small, some of them big, and then you want to mix them up. You can even put it on in front of the tree. Now, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do it with paint, so that we could paint over the tree. It makes it a little tricky if we tried to color the snowflakes with our markers. This allows us to do the snow in front of the tree. We could also do it in front of the moon, like that.
Kind of
It
looks
just
like stars a
so
little bit.
It does, but if you put it in front of the snowflakes in front of the tree, that's what'll make it look more like a snowflake instead of stars. The other thing you want to try to remember if you're doing this at home is to wait for the paint. You could, if you're right-handed, start on the left side of your paper and work this way so that you don't smear the paint with your hand.
Yeah.
Let's fast forward this part because it's going to take us a little while to paint all of the snowflakes on, but we'll come back when we're all finished. Jack, we did it! We finished coloring and painting our snowflakes. It looks really cool. Now, just a reminder, we used acrylic paint, and the reason why is the white will show up on top of the markers.
Yeah.
This is also a little secret on how we do some of our highlights. A lot of our art friends will ask us, how do you get the highlights to look so white after you colored with marker?
Yeah.
You can use paint or colored pencils on top of the markers to make it look super white.
We hope you had a lot of fun drawing your winter landscape.
And we'll see you later, art friends. Goodbye.